in the midst of several days in which the first reading is taken from the book of Genesis, and these readings retell the story of Abram, known later as Abraham. And one could argue that Abraham is the first great character to emerge from the Bible, the story of the Bible. And some would say not only is the first great character, but might be the greatest character from the biblical story from a global point of view. And why do I say that? I say that because there's very few figures in the Bible that are so highly venerated. In Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, Abraham has a vaulted place. We always refer to him in Christian and Catholic references as Abraham, our father in faith. The Jewish people revere him because of the covenant, and the covenant that established the Jewish people as the chosen people. And throughout the Holy Quran, the Prophet Muhammad constantly refers to the legacy and teachings of Abraham that formed him as a prophet. And even though our faith traditions are vastly different in many ways, and our doctrines and teachings are very different, ultimately we trace our biblical lineage to Abraham. In fact, Judaism, Islam, and Christianity are called the Abrahamic religions because when all is said and done, when we look at everything and we evaluate and we study, it's Abraham who establishes monotheism. He is the one who centers his whole faith on one God in the midst of a culture that observed many gods, and throughout history, Jesus was born at a time that the Greeks, the Egyptians, the Romans worshipped many, many gods. And it is Abraham who stands unique in the religious story of the world, of focusing on the reality that there is ultimately, at the source of all things, only one God. And we venerate Abraham not just because of his identification of Yahweh as the God, the only God, the creator of all that is and all that will be, but it is this relationship that he speaks to us of, a relationship where faith is not really so much, the submission to a book of teachings or doctrines, but to ultimately a fundamental trust in the belief in the reality of God. And that this fundamental belief that God is the source of all things, it motivates us on many different levels. It motivates us each day to worship God for his gifts and his blessings, to acknowledge the reality of God in everything that we do and everything we see, to ultimately know that the God of life leads us, defines us, and guides us. This calls for a much more profound conviction in the existence of God than simply saying, I believe in the Ten Commandments, or these are the doctrines of the Catholic Church, or these are the teachings of the prophet. It is a fundamental, profound conviction that our God is the God who is the source of all that is, a God who calls us to life, a God who has shaped us and formed us, a God who keeps being present to us and guiding us through his Son Jesus and the gift of the Holy Spirit, a manifestation of so many realities of how God is guiding us every day of our lives. Our Eucharist, our liturgy, is really all about thanksgiving and acknowledging the presence of the sacred in life. And our God is a God vitally present in our hearts and in the world around us. And just as Abraham's life would become totally devoted to this revelation of the manifestation of one God, so too we continue that tradition established by him of worshiping God as the center of our life and embracing how God comes to us through the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Hello, OLPH. My name is Mary Lynn Januszewski, and I'm the Director of Finance and Operations at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Parish in Glenview, Illinois. And this message comes to you with heartfelt gratitude and thanks for your ongoing generosity and support of OLPH Parish. This overwhelming generosity allows us to continue to serve and to minister to the parish community in so many different ways. So thank you, OLPH, for all you do. You are much appreciated.